going to do a session on calculations.
Excellent.
And yes, some people find calculations rather tricky, but after this session you'll find it very, very straightforward.
Good.
So what we need to know is we need to know a number. And the number is known as relative atomic mass. And relative atomic mass is found in your periodic table. And you can see it's generally the top number. So for example, oxygen is the relative atomic mass is 16.
So are we right in saying, Ms. McLaren, it's the bigger of the two numbers on the periodic table? So if I took chlorine, for example, we've got 35.5 and 17.
So it would be the 35.5 because that is the larger number.
Okay, so we always use, in these calculations, we always use the bigger number.
That is correct.
Excellent.
Now, we are going to be moving on to relative formula mass, which is actually represented by the symbol MR.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Bourne, why do you think we need the relative formula mass?
Because atoms aren't usually found on their own, are they? They're usually combined with something else. And if they're combined with something else, we have a formula, and the formula will help us find the mass.
Perfect. Now, let's start off with a very straightforward one, and I will need your help, Dr. Bourne.
Great.
So we'll start off with chlorine. Now, chlorine is a formula of Cl2. So, Dr. Bourne, would you like to work out the relative formula mass?
I would. I'm going to have a go at this. Now, I can see from the little 2 that means there are 2 chlorine atoms bonded together. So I'm going to write Cl2. Now, what I need next is the mass number for a chlorine atom. Miss McLaren, can you give that to me?
Here's something I prepared earlier. And chlorine has a AR of 35.5, and the AR is just your relative atomic mass.
So I've got 2 times 35.5, which equals 71. And therefore, am I right in saying that the MR of a chlorine molecule is 71?
You are so correct. Now, the next one we're going to do is slightly more complicated. Are you ready for the challenge?
I'm going to take this one off, so you've got plenty of space. Great.
Excellent.
Like a challenge.
Okay, this one we're going to do is carbon dioxide.
Okay. Right, same principle, carbon dioxide. So I've got 1 carbon atom, so that's 1 times...
Atomic mass is 12.
Okay, 1 times 12 equals 12. This is my level of maths. And oxygen, I've got 2 atoms, so it's 2 times...
Oxygen is 16.
2 times 16 equals 32. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. So the MR of carbon dioxide is 44.
Perfect. Right, we'll actually remove that one and let's go on to a little bit of a trickier one.
Oh, great.
So I think we'll do calcium carbonate.
Oh.
So it's CaCO3.
Okay. Calcium. Only one of those, so it's 1 times, Miss McLaren.
So the atomic mass of calcium is 40.
1 times 40 equals 40. Then I've got 1 carbon.
And carbon, the atomic mass is 12.
12, excellent. But I've got 3 oxygens.
So that's 3 times 16.
Oh, that's a tricky one. 3 times 16. We're going for 48 on that.
48, I think you're correct.
48 plus 2 is 0, and 4, 8, 9, 10. That would make 100. So the MR of calcium carbonate is 100.
Perfect.
Oh,
right, moving on. I think I'm going to give you a little bit more challenging one now.
Is this the last one, Mr. Claren?
This is the last one.
Now.
This is the last one.
Okay, great.
So the last one is ammonium sulfate.
Okay. Oh.
Brackets,
2. The dreaded brackets.
We love brackets.
Okay, right, now, this one I'm going to have to think carefully about. So we have nitrogen here, but because there are brackets and a little 2 outside, it means everything inside the brackets is multiplied by 2. But 2 ones are 2. So nitrogen is 2 times, Miss McLaren?
And the atomic mass of nitrogen is 14.
14. 2 times 14 is 28. Now I've got 4 hydrogens, but everything's doubled. So hydrogen, I've got 8 times. I can do this one.
What is it?
1.
Perfect.
8 times 1.
I didn't even show
8.
Dr. Bohr on the board there.
S, sulfur. That's 1 times. That's a bit harder, Miss McLaren.
The mass of sulfur is 32.
32, so that's 32. And then I've got 4 oxygens, so...
And that's 4 times 16.
And that's 64. So I have to add all of these up. So that's 2 8s is 16.
And I think I've done this in my head already. I think the answer is
Yes.
132.
Oh, thank you for that. 132. So the MR of ammonium sulfate is 132.
I think we've finished there.
We've done well.
I think we've smashed it. .com.